Hey everyone, Jane here. Thanks for joining me in another tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to change color when working in the round using the invisible join. Let's get started. Before I show you how to do the invisible join, let's talk a little bit about why you would want to do it. It isn't always going to be the thing that you want to do. It has a time and a place for it, but I do like using it most of the time when I do color changes. So the invisible join is going to give you a nice smooth look where you can't actually see where you joined the new yarn. So just a quick comparison, let's go over some of the other methods that I can use to join my rounds. In this example, we used a slip stitch using the color that we're using for round 2 and then just continued from that point. And you can kind of see a little bit of a jog there. But what happens here is if we flip them over, you're going to be continuing to join in the same spot and you're going to end up with all these ends you have to darn in the same location all the way up your square. And it's going to cause a bulky area. When I use the invisible join and start somewhere else, I will have my ends spread around the square, and that way I won't end up with bulk all in one line on my square. And then in this example, we joined with a slip stitch, but we used the same color as round 1. So this one is where it stands out the most and leaves this little jog right here. It may not bother you, it may blend in nicely with your design, but I like this nice smooth look compared to the one with the jog. So it has its benefits for multiple reasons. And it's really a simple technique. So let me just do a quick recap of what I just showed you. This one is the slip stitch in the same color. This one is a slip stitch in the different color. And this one is the invisible join that I'm going to show you now. Let's get going. So here I have a circle that I'm finishing up. I'm going to do one more double crochet and then I'm going to want to do the join. Here's how we do the invisible join. So finish your last double crochet, don't join the round. You're going to cut your yarn, maybe about 4 inches, and pull it through. So here we have our circle not joined and our yarn is cut because we're going to change to another color. We're going to put this yarn on our darning needle. And now we're going to do our invisible join. So let me get a nice close up here. So we're going to take this and we're going to look for this beginning chain that we started with. So because we were working double crochets, we have a beginning chain 3. What we want to do is work over top of that as if it's another stitch. So we're going to duplicate a stitch on top of this first chain 3. And we're going to do that by taking our needle and going into the second stitch, which is really the first actual double crochet. We're going to go under the 2 loops. We're going to pull our yarn through and we're going to come back around and we're going to insert the needle where it came out of. So you can see here, we're just going to put it down through and we're going to be duplicating a stitch. So see right now the stitch is quite large. You're going to snug that up so that it looks just like the other stitches. So you want to kind of keep the tension the same. So see now how it looks just like the other stitches and it's over top of this chain 3 stitch. So you're imitating a stitch over top of a stitch that's already there. And that is your invisible join. And see now if you were to look at it like this, you can't really tell where the invisible join happened. That's the point of it. So the last round was a double crochet, and now I want to show you how to do an invisible join over top of a single crochet. Same technique, I just want you to see what the difference might be. So again, we've done our single crochet. I'm going to cut my yarn, again about the 4 to 5 inch mark, and I'm going to pull it through. And now we're going to do an invisible join on this round. So put our yarn onto our darning needle. So you're going to take your needle and you're going to miss this first stitch and you're going to go into the second stitch under both loops, pull the yarn through, and then you're going to bring the yarn over and go back in where you came out of. So go into that stitch and you're going to create a stitch over top of that first stitch and you're going to tug this down a little bit gently until it looks like the other stitches. So you want the tension to be right. Now you have your invisible join, and what it's going to look like is there's going to be this stitch sitting underneath it. So sometimes that can be confusing. When you come back around and work everything, you'll end up with this stitch underneath. I, for the most part, just let it sit there. It might jog out at the back, but if the back of your work isn't something you're too concerned about, it's not an issue. If it really bothers you, you can work under both stitches. So you can go under the stitch that is the invisible join and into that first stitch as well. So you would go underneath and work into the first stitch, working the two stitches together. But for the most part, I don't do that. All I need to do is work into this stitch. So again, we have our invisible join, which you can't really tell where that join is unless you look at the back and see where your yarn is. An invisible join isn't always needed. When I work more complicated designs such as this mandala square, whenever I come and end around with a chain stitch, I often don't do the invisible join, but if I'm working a stitch up against another one, I will work the invisible join. So you can see here in this first round, you can't really tell where the join happened. Where it really works best is when you're doing a solid piece of crochet and you want that nice, perfect circular look, and you don't want to see any kind of a jog, anything that would draw your eye away from the nice circular look. Thanks so much for joining me in this tutorial, and we'll see you next time.